Hey guys, welcome back to My Pain and Suffering, aka Voicebox, Chapter 2. Let's go. It was midnight when I finally entered my house. My parents had gone to bed 3 hours ago, and since they were heavy sleepers, I knew I didn't have to worry about them waking up anytime soon. I snuck up the stairs, could just said upstairs, but okay, being careful to avoid the loose board on the fourth step, and slipped into my parents' bedroom. They Metal Gear, bleh, Metal Gear Solid. They looked so peaceful sleeping there, as if they didn't have a care in the world. Rage filled my mind as all the abuse that I had inflicted on me over the last 7 years fills my mind. Pick a tense and stick with it. Shayla, it will be alright. We will kill. No, we will never have to worry about them again. Kill them now. We have to protect Benna. Okay, that time I did not expect it to be Banana. I know, Voicebox. If I leave them alive, they will just hurt Benna. They deserve to die a slow, painful death. But we don't have the time for that. I tightened my grip on the Skinners and felt my mouth stretch into a smile. I walked over to the bed and slowly crawled up the bed? Is the bed ginormous or are you just very tiny? Which one is it? Until I was directly between my parents. How did they not notice? Well, I mean, they did. She did. The person rang the. It was established that they were heavy sleepers. I cannot speak today. I raised both Skinners up over my head and slammed them both down at the same time into my parents' heads. Rage had given me more strength than I thought, and the Skinners sunk into their heads all the way to the handles. The whole cliche. Oh, strength makes me stronger. I giggled that sinister giggle again as I wrenched the Skinners out of their skulls. The blood started to flow out of the puncture wound in their heads. Okay, this better not become one of those stories where I have to skip everything. Blah 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 violence. Well, one sentence of violence. Then there's a sentence saying, "Oh, how I love the taste." If that was in present tense, that would make a good slogan. Once I once I finished my treat, I went and took a quick shower. Out of all the things you could have done, and you take a shower. Since the killing had been so silent, I didn't need to worry about leaving quickly. I loved the feel of the warm water caressing my skin. How is this related to the story? I felt something wet and... Oh no. Don't tell me... I just read ahead. Don't... Uh... Oh no. I felt something wet and furry brush against my... Okay, the page reloaded because an error occurred. That happens a lot. But for once, I'm actually glad it happened. I felt something wet and furry brush against my calves and quickly looked over my shoulder to see what it was. I felt my eyes widen and my mouth dropped open when I saw that I now had a very beautiful red tail. Sadly, I have to continue. But I want it to stop right now. Please. I concentrated on moving it, and it moved. I ran my hands through the fur and shivered in pleasure as I stroked my new tail. I noticed that the tip of my tail was black, and it looked like a fox tail. I felt my ears twitch, but they were no longer on the sides of all the things you could have brought into the story. Jeff the Killer ripoffs, bad grammar. You made the main character a furry. This is the worst story I've ever read so far. If something ever tops it, it will be very surprising. Anyways, I would have screamed, but I knew I couldn't draw attention to the house or I would be in deep trouble. I quickly turned the water off and wrung the water out of my hair, which I now noticed was blood red. Okay, that's not furry. And out of my tail, I'd see what I looked like. I stepped out of the shower, dried off, and used a towel to wipe the steam off the mirror. I was shocked when I saw my new looks. I had 2 red fox ears with black tips on the top of my head, a healed scar on my right cheek from when Joel had cut me, but the most striking difference was my left eye. Instead of a brilliant emerald green I had since birth, it was black with a slitted blood red purple, and there was black oozing from it. I don't want to do this, but I have to. Like I was crying black. I can tell you can see the pain that I'm going through reading this. The way it was slitted reminded me of a cat's eye. I tilted my head and smiled a big toothy grin and noticed that my canine teeth were longer and sharper than they had been. I loved this new look. I looked at the blood-stained hoodie and jean I had been wearing and thought that I should have a new outfit to match my new looks. I went back to my parents' room and raided Mother's closet. Either my mother or Mother is her name. Most of her clothes, not clothes, clothes, as in CLOSE. Most of her clothes were business outfits, but in the very back I noticed an outfit that was just right for my new looks. It was a long-sleeved, very short leather top and a very short leather skirt. Why would any mother have that? I grabbed the outfit and some black leather boots and headed to my room to get dressed. I tossed on a black lacy thong. You didn't have to include that, you know. The outfit and the boots, which came up to mid-thigh, and stood in front of the full-length mirror in my room. The leather shirt covered most of my Good story. Good story. We look great, Shayla. Now we should take all the money our parents have, pack a bag for Benna, get Benna to our grandparents' house, and get out of there. You might also want to add a black leather belt so when we get the sheaths for the Skinners from Roxanne, we can have easy access to them. Great idea, voicebox. I think I saw one in Mother's room. After I packed some of my clothes and essentials in my teal backpack, tucked the Skinners in the side pocket and went to the kitchen. I raided the pantry for all the non-perishable food I could find. Some silverware and dish. Why do you need? Well, actually, no, that makes sense. And a can opener and stuffed it all in my backpack. Then I ran back to my parents' room, grabbed the belt, put it on, and raided my parents' wallets and the small lockbox, and headed to Benna's room. I grabbed her purple duffel bag and threw in a bunch of clothes and her favorite toys. Then I picked her up, making sure that her blanket was wrapped tightly around her, and headed out of the house. In this case, I was happy that it was difficult to wake Benna up. It was about 3 in the morning when I headed out for our grandparents' house. So the streets were empty. Benna slept through the whole 3-hour walk, but it was just before 6 in the morning when I laid Benna on the porch swing. Just leave her there, put her duffel bag in front of the door, rang the doorbell, and hid in the nearby bushes. It took Grandpapa a few minutes to answer the door, and he looked puzzled at first until he saw the duffel bag. I saw him look around and notice Benna. As soon as he picked her up and went inside, I took off into the woods. I decided to stay in the old fort Rebecca and I had made just before she died. God, it's a lot. It wasn't too far from my house, and I needed some sleep before I head back out to deal with Roxanne and Jeannie. It was already dark by the time I woke up. I checked my watch and saw it was already 8 p.m. So after eating a couple of Pop-Tarts, that just got rid of all the edge. I should be happy that the edge is gone, but disappointed. Grabbing my Skinners, I headed over to Roxanne's house. Voicebox and I talked during the hour it took to reach our destination. We planned to head out of town as soon as I finished killing those stupid girls. We hadn't decided where exactly we would go, but we both thought it was best to get as far away from here as we could, seeing how by then we will have killed 6 or more people, depending on if I had to kill the girl's parents when I reached Roxanne's place was empty, but after a little searching I found out that her parents were out of town on a business trip and she was staying at Jeannie's. I grinned at this because Jeannie lived outside of town. Her nearest neighbor was 3 miles away and her house was close to the woods. Making for a fast getaway, I searched Roxanne's room and found the sheaths from my Skinners and attached them to my belt. Then I headed back to... No, if you're gonna carry Skinner, how big is a Skinner? Sorry. Then I headed back to the fort for my backpack. Since I would be able to kill them both tonight, I would just head out right from Jeannie's house, and I could even take a shower before leaving. I started twitching and giggling as I hiked to Jeannie's. By the time I reached Jeannie's, I had myself under control again. It was now about 11 o'clock, a.m. or p.m., and the house was dark and silent. Shayla, kill her parents first, then we can have some fun with those two before we kill them. Great idea. I'll see what I can find to tie them up with in their parents' room. I'll have to be very quick and quiet while tying them up. I checked the back door of the house and found that the idiots hadn't even locked it. Slowly and quietly, I snuck up the stairs and peeked in the rooms. I found her parents' room and crawled to the end of their bed. This kill was almost too easy. Jeannie's mom had her head resting on her husband's chest. I quickly stabbed the Skinners into their skulls, quickly killing them before they even had a chance to open their eyes. Okay, I'm gonna take a break. I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Okay, so killing them before they even had a chance to open their eyes. I quickly cut out their vocal cords and ate them while I searched their room for belts or scarves to tie Jeannie and Roxanne up with. How would you tie them up with a scarf? I was in luck. Jeannie's dad had a lot of belts that are apparently long enough to tie someone up. I grabbed 8 of them and snuck into Jeannie's room. Both girls were fast asleep on Jeannie's bed. I carefully tied them up with the belts. First by slowly and carefully stretching their arms up and tying them to the bars of the headboard. Okay, excuse me for being stupid, but what's a headboard? Is that even a thing? I was careful to spread them far enough apart that they wouldn't be able to untie themselves. I did the same with their ankles and the bars of the footboard. Once they were safely secured, I started giggling sinisterly. They both woke up with a start, and tried to sit up, only to find out they couldn't. The fear and panic on their faces made me grin, revealing my sharp canines. They both started yelling for Jeannie's parents and demanding that I release them. Gotta come up with the voice.
Did you?
Oh, that voice got killed.
Did you really think that we wouldn't have taken care of your parents before we came for our revenge?
I'm not gonna do that voice anymore. I chuckled as I drew the Skinners out of their sheaths. Shayla! What? How? Why? Roxanne stuttered. Let us go, you skanky bitch. That's what I would say if I was about to be killed. Jeannie yelled. I don't think so, Jeannie. After all, I thought you might like to be reunited with your boyfriends and parents. It's just too bad that Roxanne's parents couldn't join the party, but I'll make sure they join you soon enough. Before they had time to say anything else, I cut their cheeks just like Joel had cut mine. Alright then. I felt my tail swishing back and forth with glee as I started leaving shallow cuts all over the girls. I grinned as their screams of agony and fear serenaded me. It was music to my ears to hear them suffer just as I had. After a few hours of torturing them, I ripped out skip. I grinned at Jeannie, and she watched with horrified eyes as I ate them. Roxanne gurgled as she choked to death on her own blood. Don't worry, Jeannie, you'll be joining her soon, I said, but to my surprise it was Roxanne's voice that came out of my throat. Okay. When will that be explained? I giggled again and tore Jeannie's throat out too. I blah 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 and laughed as she too drowned in her own blood. It was at that moment that I heard clapping from the doorway of the room. I spun around, raised my Skinners, and growled at the figure standing there. He was taller than me, maybe about 6. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. You're not gonna bring him into this. No. I'm not. No. 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 It's Jeff. The Jeff. I'm gonna skip a whole lot of this because I don't want to hear any more of this. Okay, I think I'm ready. What I wanted, sweet cheeks, was to kill these idiots. I'm not making that up. They actually put, I was to kill these idiots. Unfortunately, it looks like I got here too late. Well, not too late to watch the show you put on with those girls. I gotta say I'm impressed with how you handle those Skinners. He chuckled. Should I make a voice for him? Don't give him don't give him your real name, Shayla. Tell him that you are voicebox. We will share that name from now on. Alright, voicebox. The name is voicebox, not Sweet Cheeks, I replied. I wasn't about to let my guard down with Jeff. He is, after all, a killer. I hate this story so much. Nice name, Sweet Cheeks. You know I have some friends that would find you as interesting as I don't even care. No. Alright, so I won't get the focus because of how terrible. What, maybe if it focuses. Come on, focus. Come on. Basically, it hasn't focused, but it says there, have you ever heard of the creepypastas? I'm not reading any more of this chapter. I don't care.